What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's my birthday, and I'm going out to dinner. I'm looking forward to it. Go to my favorite restaurant, have my favorite meal, and just enjoy a sleepy Monday night. Over the weekend, Bill Maher has had a couple of good hot takes, and he's had some epically bad hot takes as well. But he is pretty good at, quote, criticizing his own side. His unique brand of elitist humor often pokes fun at the woke scolds and slacktivism and things like that. This time he took aim at Hollywood. Bill Maher incinerates weepy Best Picture nominees. The 2021 Oscars brought to you by razor blades, Kleenex, and rope. Well, ultimately, that's what Hollywood has become. It's become, a vehicle to virtue signal and to tell everybody how bad of a person they are. This is exactly why Godzilla versus Kong, people went out to go see that movie because people want escapism. And some people, at least, on the further left side of the aisle, they still understand this. The Oscars need to change the name to the Debbies, as in Debbie Downer, he said, because judging by this year's Best Picture nominees, you couldn't have a worse time at the movies if there was an active bad guy in there. HBO Real Time with Bill Maher hit all the week's hot spots from everything going on. He goes on to longest single bit was in the new rules, where Maher dissected the nominees for Best Picture one by one and begged for some happier content. Americans don't have to go to church. If they want to feel guilty, dirty, and bad, they can just watch Nomadland. That's the one where the woman winds up living in her van after her husband passes from cancer. Or in Judas and the Black Messiah, the leader of the Black Panthers is betrayed by an informant and ended. In Promising Young Woman, he goes on to talk about all these types of things. The 2021 Oscars brought to you by razor blades, Kleenex, and rope. And please welcome our host, the sad emoji. I think that all of this is predicated by the movement in Hollywood to, check all of the boxes. We talked about, I think it's the Oscars, that has certain diversity requirements to even be nominated. And each director is trying to outdo the other one with being more woke and being a bigger downer. But ultimately, for us plebs in the flyover states, as they probably refer to us, I don't want to go to the movies to feel bad. I will see a sad movie every once in a while. In fact, I like a lot of documentaries that are kind of middle of the road. Silver lining type stuff, but also some serious stuff too. He goes on to say, we all had a rough year. A little escapism would have been appreciated, he said. What happened in show business? Did they all quit Coke at the same time? Did they forget that Hollywood is still the number one place to go if you're an egomaniac looking to fill a hole from your childhood with applause? Academy nominations used to say what great movies we make. Now, this is a great line. Now they say, look at what good people we are. Isn't that true? Doesn't that perfectly encapsulate exactly what is going on in Hollywood right now? It's been an absolute bore. And obviously we've had the theaters kind of not even available to us. But let me give you a perfect example. I made my first post-lockdown trip to the cinema. You know what movie I saw? Nobody. A good time action flick that didn't have any political messaging, and it was just fun. My wife even liked it because there's a cute kitten in it. And that's the type of movie I want to pay money to see. I don't want to pay money to see a movie that, that is constantly telling me how bad of a person I am. He goes on to say, he makes the same point. It's no wonder Godzilla versus Kong destroyed at the box office, he said. Not that Godzilla vs. Kong and his crippling battle with depression. Not that I want to see Godzilla vs. Kong either. Hollywood used to know how to make a movie that was about something, a movie for adults that was also entertaining and not just depressing. There's already a category for that, Best Documentary, important films about the plight of the hot dog stand owners. I mean, ultimately, he's 100% right here. He's just right. You could see, if your movie is so woke, how come I'm falling asleep? Being sad lets you feel... Oh, yeah, some other great quotes he had. Being sad lets you feel like you're doing something about a problem without actually having to do something. That's exactly the perspective of slacktivists. They can say, oh, man, did you see this movie? Oh, it was just so sad. And then they pick up their $800 iPhone and go to Starbucks. And you see here Vulture. Has Real Time with Bill Maher Writer's Room been moonlighting on Gutfeld? Because some of the one-liners from his New Rules rant about the 2021 Oscars Best Picture nominees seems like they were pulled straight from the Fox News series. Uh-oh! In the segment, Maher makes a not exactly fresh observation that the Academy Awards like to nominate depressing films about very important topics. So they're mad. Of course they are. But he suggests that this is new rather than a decades-old trend, and that's the fault of social justice warriors. And weren't things better back in the good old days when movies were fun and he liked them? You couldn't have a worse time at the movies. In the 2021 Oscars, yes, we know the quotes. The most baffling part of the spiel comes with Maher says they used to know how to make a movie that was about something, a movie for adults, but was also entertaining and not just depressing. And the stills he includes to illustrate the point are famously depressing Schindler's List, 12 Years a Slave. Why do so many liberals have the desire to want to be sad, Maher suggested. The reasoning might be virtue signaling, but railing against self-seriousness of the Oscars, suggesting it's the fault of current libs and kids these days is not the fault of Hollywood pompousness, as the old time sure sounds like virtue signaling like us, or virtue signaling to us. Well, no. The point is that he's exactly right, and Vulture magazine or Vulture.com doesn't like getting outed because Vulture is a far left website, obviously, but you have this slacktivism, a retweet, a like, or a share of an Instagram story. These are things that make people feel good, and I think that, by the way, this probably happens on both sides of the aisle, but what are they really accomplishing other than, look how sad I am? Oh, I just saw, won't somebody think of the kids? Won't somebody think of the kids? Let me retweet this. You should probably go see this movie, because if you think that life is good, then you should probably not feel that way because everything's terrible. That isn't to say that there isn't room for happiness and seriousness and serious movies that aren't documentaries. I don't necessarily agree with that take, but ultimately the awards season and Hollywood themselves has become so obsessed with inhaling their own farts that they forgot that their real job is to entertain people. This really comes from the same kind of self-important attitude that a lot of people in Hollywood have, that think we care about what their political stances are. They get a certain level of clout, and then you have notorious moron Seth Rogen spending all day long talking about politics on Twitter and wondering why people won't take him seriously. I don't care what my gestures think about modern day politics. They've long forgotten what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. They've long forgotten what it's like to, work two jobs just to keep the lights on. They've long forgot what it's like to, have hand-me-down clothes or to deal with actual real-world problems. All they want are the masses, the sheep, the plebs, to continue to give them $15 of their hard-earned money and go to their theaters. And now that many of these people have made all their money, now they're more concerned with virtue signaling. They were fine when the system was broken before, when they were making all their money, but now it's about, well, actually, we're serious artists. You need to take us seriously. I'll take a film like Nobody or Godzilla, especially these days, over any of this garbage that they're nominating for the Oscars. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.